Hey everyone, and welcome to episode number 51 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of JOMBOY Media. And we welcome back into the fold from the Tampa Bay Rays, Tyler Glasnow, who is joining us from some sort of study.
My parents' house. It's like a shrine with my brother. Yeah, look, I'm up there. Okay. He's right. No, that's me. He's hijacking over there. Family portrait. Very nice.
Oh my God. Look at that. Wait, you got to move your head again. That family portrait that's an A++.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I was just a young whippersnapper, and look, Ted's over there being all team aggressive. You know how it goes.
Yeah. All right, let's show off the wing here.
This is what I'm working right now. That's what I got going. Feels pretty good. Like for 8 days out, it's not terrible. Well, I have like limited range of motion and all that stuff, but for the most part, like pain and all that, it's good.
And how much do you have to wear that?
As much as possible. I know my PT was like, you can stretch it out. Like if you get stiff, don't feel like you don't have to take it off and stuff. But like for the most part, I wear it like majority of the day. And then I go to PT every day and he like stretches it out and we do a bunch of stuff to it. And yeah, fun times.
I'm sure. Okay. We got a lot of ground to cover. And first of all, I always appreciate you coming on.
Of course. Appreciate
but particularly right now, because this sucks.
Yeah, I guess. Also, too, though, I got more free time than I've ever had, so I guess it makes more sense now.
No, it does. But at the same time, the last time we spoke, you were hopeful to come back in September, contribute to what you hope will be a long October run and all that sort of stuff. So I guess let's start at the beginning with what changed for you physically.
I compared it to, so I got hurt in 19 and it was kind of the same thing. Like I had a partially torn UCL and like some flexor stuff. And that took a lot longer to like feel normal for me to feel like I'm like sitting there, just comfortability with it. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It just took a bit longer then. And then I compared it to this injury. I compared to that injury and it recovered a lot quicker. Like it wasn't as uncomfortable for as long. So after like a couple of weeks, like a lot of the soreness went away. Everything felt really good. So I was like, wow, this seems like it's not as severe as 19. I'll probably be able to come back sooner. I started doing like plyos and everything early. Nothing really bothered it. And then I'd go out and throw maybe like 65, 70% intent, like just throwing maybe like 75, 80 miles per hour. And I was like, wow, this feels great. Nothing's really wrong. And I'd done that a few times. And I was like, I really think compared to how I feel in 19, I'll be able to come back relatively soon. And then as I started to put more effort into it, it started to kind of feel a little bit weirder and weirder and weirder. And then I was at the point where I was like, I mean, I've kind of been dealing with this for a while and I've had some pain with it. So I might as well just like try and just go, even if I'm in pain, like why don't I just go out and keep pitching? And like all the doctors I spoke to were like, as long as you can like withstand the pain, like it's just a ligament injury. Like if it goes, it goes. At this point, like you're just trying to get as much as you can out of it. So my plan was like, that's fine. I can pitch in pain. I've done that for a while. Like I'm cool with it. But then it got to a certain point when the day before I flew to Texas, I was like, I don't know. And I went to a place called TMI in Texas and threw off the mound here. And I was like, all I needed to know. I went up and I was throwing like 95, 96 in a bullpen. And I felt really good. It was crazy. But the pain like associated with throwing was just too much. It just felt like unnatural in a way. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to shut it down. And the MRIs just showed like a partial tear, and most pitchers will have a partial tear in their UCL just from kind of goes along with the job. But when they opened it up, it was like completely off the bone. So it was almost in a sense really relieving because I think it had been like that for quite like a while. I really don't know. I think I was having problems with it, but I think, again, not to blame anything, like I think I probably could have strung together a couple more, but I think like the change mixed with like just pitching on it for 2 years, it kind of just, it was time.
So when that happens and you opt for surgery, how does this go? Do you call Kevin Cash? Do you call Eric Neander? What happens?
It's kind of an open dialogue amongst like Paul Harker is our rehab guy. And then Joe Benj is our athletic trainer. I'm talking to my agent. I'm talking to Kyle. I'm talking to Kyle like a lot. I think I was probably a guy leaning
Kyle Snyder, your pitching coach.
Yeah. He dealt with some injuries and stuff too. So it was just kind of like an open forum, and it was more just like a think tank, I guess. And my plan, I told them too, was just like, let's just keep throwing. Like, I'll just go until I can't anymore. And then I got to a certain point, and then I went to, that was the plan. Like, go to Texas, throw your bullpen, see if you can get through it. And then if not, like, let's maybe just elect to open you up and see. So everyone was on board. I mean, they know that it had been something I'd been dealing with for a little bit. But the thing is with pitching, like, there's not a single pitcher in the clubhouse, maybe a couple, but like most guys are dealing with something. Like, pain is just, everyone has pain if you're a pitcher. So it's hard to navigate and understand like what's an actual injury and what's pain. Because I think once the adrenaline hits and like the competitive juices flow, you really, I don't know. I know for me, I just don't even think about it. So it was, I'm definitely glad I opted to do it though. My biggest fear was going out and damaging something else. Because when I had initially, when they like did the MRI, there was like some signal in my bone as well. We've talked about this. So I think that was kind of a sign of the ligament maybe not withstanding all the load, and it was kind of going into the bone. And I'm glad I got it done.
When you come to grips with something like that at this point in your career, do you get emotional? Do you get upset? I know you're really able to compartmentalize a lot of things, but still, it's not just this year, it's next year, and it can be fucking with your future. So how do you deal with that?
I think the thing that sucks most is like our team's so good and I can't contribute. And like, I'm watching everyone, like, it's awesome watching everyone like us play really well, because that takes a load off, like I'm out and everyone's just balling out, and it makes my life a lot easier. But not being able to contribute this year, that probably sucks the most. But as far as like, I don't know, I think there's a lot of positives with it too. Like, I've kind of considered if I could do what I did the last couple of years with an elbow that's kind of been giving me issues, because before 2019, like, I was just like rubber arm, nothing really ever bothered me. And then I think it's just been something I've been managing. So I've been like, I mean, look at 27 years with this ligament. Like, imagine if I get a new one. And like, I think I would, if I could just put it out of my mind, and I really think I'd be able to come back and like be a lot better of a pitcher. And because it'd been something I would think about it sometimes on the mound, and it was just one of those things that kind of be in the back of my mind. But I think as far as like a career move, I think it's good for me. It sucks that like my future, I guess, as a Ray, all that stuff is like kind of up in the air. But at the end of the day, like, I think the biggest thing that helps me is like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, in the grand scheme of things, like, I'm a big league baseball player. I'm like in the ARB system. Like, it could be so much worse. I could be a guy who signed for like nothing, and I had Tommy John right out, and like people just pass on me, like, at least I've established myself in a sense, and I'm not dying. Like, I'm a healthy young person who's like playing a game for a living. So like, I really like, whenever I get stressed out, I'm kind of just like, it's fine. Just, you'll come back. You'll be fine. I'll be 29, 30 when I come back. So it's still young. It doesn't really bother me too much, the little things, but it's really not a big deal, like in the grand scheme of things.
Where do you think that comes from? Because I think there's a lot of people, like, people would ask me, oh my God, like, what does this mean for Glasnow and his future? And is he worried about it? And I said, well, I texted with the guy. And by the way, your left-handed texting is exceptional.
Siri's my girl. She helps me out too.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll give a lot of voice text and stuff, but I can left. I'm getting so good with everything. I just went out to dinner with my parents yesterday. Cutting my potatoes. Like, I've been doing it my whole life. It's crazy. You can adapt pretty well. So
how do you wash your hair?
Just oh God! Swoop, dude. I got a big hand too, so
yeah, that helps. But you got a lot of hair too, so it's kind of.
I do. It just takes a little longer, but you know what? Patience is a virtue.
All right, nice. Yeah. I was going to get to all that, but now you distracted me. You took me off the serious shit, and now you took me to like one hand, the expert of one-handed cutting when you're out there. You know, I
forgot your original question. You can continue.
Yeah, that's all right. I kind of forgot it too, but it's more along the lines of like why you're so positive, and because people look at this and they're like, oh my God, he's 27. Like, this is the age where he should be thinking about a long-term deal and all that sort of stuff. And now he's not even going to get a chance to play in 2022. Why are you so positive?
I don't know. I think certain things, like, I'm definitely not. Like, certain things, I feel like I'm like, I need to have like a better mindset with a lot of stuff. Like, I can get like dramatic or like over or whatever with certain things. But like this, I just think because I went out and like, I like pitched and I did everything I possibly could. And like, so much of it now is just not in my control. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing I regret. So it's easier to live with. And the biggest thing for me, what helps me, like, with any sort of adversity at this point, I always compare everything to, like, I think most people do. You compare shitty situations to like your shittiest situation. And the things I remember feeling in like 16, 17, 18 with the Pirates, like that feeling. This is nowhere near what I felt, you know what I mean? Like my headspace in those years. So I'm just in a weird, not like to get all tacky, but like I'm like grateful that I am not that. Because at a certain point, like you do have a conscious decision to like be positive and everything, but for the most part, like it kind of, I don't know, it like just does it itself. And right now I'm not as upset as I was then. So I'm like, oh, okay, things are pretty peachy, because it could be that and it's not. So I don't know. And at this point, like I said, so many things are out of my control. Like all I can do is rehab, come back. And I already know, as far as this next year, like I'm just going to get, I don't know, just be even more obsessed with like figuring out like how to optimize everything physically and like just become, I don't know, just get extremely healthy. And like I can come back in 2023 and be a lot better than I was previously. And I truly believe I will be.
Hey guys, a lot of people say, hey, summer's coming to a close, so let's just start packing it up and get ready for fall. No. Not when it comes to yourself south of the equator. And that's where our friends from manscaped.com lend a helping hand. So go to manscaped.com, use the keyword Rose, you get 20% off your order plus free shipping. And it's all about the new Lawnmower 4.0. Okay, it's 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch that can engage as a travel lock as well. Plus, it's waterproof. So if you like cleaning yourself up in the shower, it's a perfect fit. In addition to that, you actually get the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, which is big time for me because I got stuff when I start sneezing, I look like a party favor. Just pops out of everywhere. So that's a big time help. You also get the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Toner, plus 2 free gifts, the Performance Boxer Briefs. I've told you this before. Michelle, my wife, loves them. I wear them as much as possible. Don't worry, I put them in the laundry as well to clean them up. Plus, you get the Shed travel bag. So that's 2 free gifts. It's very simple. Go to manscaped.com, the keyword Rose. You get 20% off your order, plus free shipping. Take care of yourself south of the equator. That someone special is going to love you for it. Have you heard from a lot of teammates? Have you heard from Kevin Cash? Have you heard from guys around the league? Fill us in on that.
Yeah, friends, everyone, like a lot of people have reached out. It's, I mean, like I get like a good amount of it. So like my response is like, yeah, good. Happy to finally be healthy. Like it's a lot of like pretty generic answers and stuff, but yeah, a lot of people have reached out. It's been cool. Like coaches, everyone, teammates, friends from back home. Yeah. Like a lot of people.
Can I share with everybody our text?
Yeah. I don't even know what we talked about.
I actually, first of all, I texted Donna. I texted your mom. I wanted to make sure that the patient was okay. And she was like, yeah, they just rolled him in for surgery. And then I was an idiot. I texted you like probably a couple hours after your surgery. And I said, how is the patient? Yeah. You probably have no recollection of what you wrote back.
No, not because I was like out of surgery. I just think it was because it was so long. I do remember us texting. I just don't remember what we said.
So I said, how's the patient? And you texted back, high as balls. And I laughed.
I do remember that, actually. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's enough. I'll check in with you in a couple days, brother.
There you go.
That's all I needed to know, because I've been there too after back surgery. It's it's a fun one.
Things were fine. I was like, whatever.
That was pretty good.
Like, I don't care.
You mentioned about your future. And for people that don't understand, so you are in the middle of arbitration contractually, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Rays could opt to, take you to arbitration. We could have that. You'll increase your salary. I suppose they could opt to not give you a contract. Is that possible?
Yeah, I could get like non-tendered. I don't know if that would necessarily happen, because if I get non-tendered, I'd be a free agent. And I don't know if they want that, because I don't know. I could like sign in division. Like, I don't know if I would, but like, I just think like the threat of that is that I don't know. But I think like for the most part, when people get hurt, they end up signing like a 2-year, like, or maybe you can think about like an extent. There's a bunch of different like avenues to go down. It's not something I've talked with Neander and people about it. But I don't know if that actually gets, because there's like so much stuff going on right now. It's like, I'll just think about it when like the time is there, like when it's actually time to discuss it. But like during season, it's not really the time to do it. So I don't know. I haven't really thought about it as much.
Do you discuss it with your agent or no?
Yeah, I'll talk to him about it and like think about all the possible things that could happen and everything like that. But as far as like, it is kind of pointless to think about and talk about, like, as long, now I understand like all the situations, and now I'm just kind of like putting it out of my mind just because it's not something that's going to happen for a while. So it's just, yeah, I've like discussed all the possibilities, and like when the time comes after season, then we'll like figure out what we want to do.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Have you received any good advice? I mean, Tommy John, it's like catching a cold with pitchers. Like at some point you're going to get one.
Yeah. I did say that too. I was like, it's like a miracle that I've been able to throw this hard for this long and not get it. I'm like, the thing is too, like, I do have, not to like toot my own horn, but my mechanics are like efficient as far as like injury prevention goes. And I think the reason I was able to kind of string along as many starts as I did with it, like off of my bone, is just because it is efficient. So it's not something like I think I'm going to like go and change a bunch of stuff. It's just kind of one of those freak things that happened. And yeah. So yeah, I just kind of like, in a sense, like I said, there's part of me that's like annoyed or whatever, but another part of me is like relieved that I'm able to go and get a brand new ligament. And I got the hybrid one where you get like normal Tommy John, and then they put like that synthetic band in there too. So I got like double strength. So maybe I'll come back or more like double stability. So like it makes me stronger. But
what do you mean? You're going to come back and you're going to be throwing like 179 miles an hour with that synthetic band in there now.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to find out. But yeah, I think I'm just going to, I don't really care how hard I throw. Just as long as I can like get to what I was, and which I'm pretty sure I'll be able to. I just want to come back and be healthy.
All right. So give us a schedule. Like what goes on now with you physically?
I think like the first 2 weeks, it's like range of motion. I was able to ride a bike yesterday, 8 days out, which is nice. Like for me, I just don't like sitting there and doing nothing. Like I want my heart rate to get up. And I can't do like heavy impact stuff or like sprints or anything that's like involving my arms. So I can like do a bike and stuff. So that's like a small milestone I'm able to condition now, which is super cool. So 2 weeks is range of motion. And then I think like, I don't know, I keep this brace on for like 4 to 6 weeks. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can start doing like push pull weight stuff, like not dumbbell, but like pulley stuff after 8 weeks, all those like small milestones. I can start lifting heavy or whatever, like after 10 weeks. And those are the things I'm looking forward to the most, like finally getting able to like, once I can start fully training, I don't think I'm really going to think about it too much, because then it's just like at that point, it's just like inertia. Like I'm on a program and I'm just getting back, and all I can do is like let time do it. It does, you know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm rooting for the best, but there was part of me where the doctors would say, yeah, you can't do anything cardiovascularly for like 6 weeks. And then I wanted to see if you could put on like 30 pounds and be like the rest of us, just like sit shirtless in your parents' home, try and flip Doritos off of your belly into your mouth. Try and do like the stuff the rest of us do. Yeah.
I think too, because I wasn't working out, like I'm not as hungry, and I'm a big, like I intermittent fast and stuff. So that usually takes care of most of that. Like I give like that 16-hour window, 8-hour
16,
window.
8. That's what I do. And we look exactly the same. It's amazing.
It's true. It's the same, dude. Yeah. So that like limits, I guess, like calorie intake or whatever. But like usually when I'm working out, I'm eating like so much food. But right now I just like don't have the urge to. And then I try not to like eat bad. And I think too, more of it's like a test of like, because I'm not necessarily the most patient person. So part of me is like, this might be cool just to like the first couple of weeks or whatever, if I can't do anything, like learn how to just like calm down, just not do anything. And yeah, I don't know, like trying not to like eat bad when you're bored. And there's been times where like, yeah, whatever, I'll just like go eat bad. But for the most part, like, what's your vice? Meth. No, I don't know.
Oh
God. My vice, I don't know.
You don't have a food vice? Like I am.
I mean, I'm human. Like I'll eat really unhealthy if I'm like, I'll have times where I just binge out. For the most part too, like I'll eat really healthy throughout the week, and then I'll give myself a day where I just like eat like such a fat kid, especially in the off season when I'm working out a lot. Like I'll have a day where I eat just like 12,000 calories and just like gross processed food. But it's weird too, because like I'll always wake up the following day. Say I'm like, my Sunday's my cheat day, and then like Monday's my big lift, and I eat just like disgusting calories on Sunday. I have like a phenomenal lift Monday, and I just don't. I think because I don't eat bad that often, that when I do it, I'm just, my body's like, all right, what's going on here? We got to work to get this out. But
there's got to be a food like we just had our oldest son home from San Diego for a couple of nights, and so my wife bought like his favorite bags of chips, and he and I, like he's 6'4", but $165. He's so skinny, he can eat anything.
Yeah.
But when he brings that bag of chips, he and I just sit there, we'll watch baseball together, and we just crush a bag of Ruffles or whatever it is. So there's got to be something for you where you're like, yes, that's the food.
I think when I get the bug, crush anything. I'm the least picky eater. I can go through a bag of chips. Like if anything, I don't know, like I'll get like a pizza and eat the whole thing and then eat ice cream and like I'll just go crazy fat kid, like straight fat camp. And those are good days. I like those days. I don't do
you don't
that
put
often,
pineapple on your pizza, do you?
No, I'm more of like a basic pizza guy, like just pepperoni. And then another like thing for me though, I'm not a big like dessert guy. Like I don't want like brownies and stuff. I want like little kid candy. I want like Sour Patch and like things you buy at a gas station.
Swedish
That's what
fish.
I like. Yeah, like that stuff. Weird. I don't know why, but yeah.
So when we all go out to dinner with you, me, Ted, Carly, and my wife Michelle, you're not going to order dessert?
I don't order dessert often, but like I don't know. I guess it depends if we like. Yeah, sometimes I do go out. Like I go out with players and stuff. Like eat dessert for sure. Okay. Yeah, sometimes we'll get like 10 of them. Just eat all of them with everyone. Just depends on the mood I'm in.
Yeah, because Plouffe and I went out to dinner for the first time last weekend with our wives, and he told me ahead of time, and he's like, "I don't eat dessert." I was like, "What do you mean you don't eat dessert?" He said, "Yeah, I don't think I've had a dessert in a year and a half." I was like, "Well, first of all, that's bullshit. You had to have had some. You've got kids that are 5 and 3. You had to have had a birthday cake or something."
Yeah, for real, right? Yeah.
Okay, and then like I couldn't order dessert. I am the biggest dessert freak in the world. Like if there was a U.S. Olympic team for dessert eating, there's no question I would have made it at some point over the last 30 years.
Nice.
And you sit there with Plouffe and his beautiful wife Olivia, and they're they look like the top of the wedding cake. They're so beautiful. I was like, I can't eat dessert in front of them, and it pissed me off, to be honest with you.
When we go out, we'll have dessert. I don't want to make you feel bad. I'll definitely eat dessert.
Thank you. That's true friendship. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm a big. If I'm craving something, like I'm going to eat it. I'm not like a big like. Oh my god, I'm not like what's that in Dodgeball where the guy has like the thing, or Ben Stiller has a thing on his nipples and he's like looking at the pizza. Like if I'm craving it, I'm just going to eat it. Like I do a lot of stuff, so I'm like I can eat bad if I want to.
I bet you were the baddest motherfucking dodgeball player when you were young.
I was pretty good at it, but it was big. Like it was part of that. It was like the time in elementary school where everyone things shifted. Like my dad and somebody, we would like murder people in recess, and then we would play dodgeball, and it was always like you can only hit someone from like this section to this section. And I'm not out there throwing strikes. I started throwing strikes like 2 years ago, so I'm just like waffling dodgeballs to people. And they're like, "All right, no more, dude. You're like way taller than everyone. You're just throwing the stuff too hard." We didn't play dodgeball very much in elementary school. We play like kickball and flag football and all that stuff.
Yeah, you were right. That's the sweet spot of when they started to take dodgeball away because it became too brutal for people. But that was to me, that was like and I'm not one of these like, well, back in the old days, this is how we did. That's not how I live my life. Yeah. But I always felt like dodgeball was a rite of passage. Like, you get hit in the head occasionally. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, I know. I think it's kind of, because the thing is too, it's not like you can't do like permanent brain damage. It's a sense of like, I don't know. It does. Like you need to have some sort of adversity, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. Can't always just be sheltered and do nothing. But I don't know. Who do I know? I'm not a behavioral therapist or like a doctor.
All right, more with Tyler Glasnow coming up in just a second. But first, so you say you're interested in the game of baseball. You want to get involved, but you don't know how. That's where our friends at Sports Management Worldwide can lend a helping hand. It's very simple. They offer these great 8-week online courses. And in terms of baseball, they've got Dan Duquette, a former GM with the Orioles, the Red Sox, and remember the Montreal Expos as well. He teaches a course in baseball player development. So he tells you exactly what to look for and how to build your brand. So maybe one day you can be a GM. There's a baseball agent course with MLB agent Oscar Suarez. Talks a little bit about scouting, how to search out that player that you want to represent, and also how to work with MLB front offices as well. You got a baseball GM and scouting course with former Dodger GM Dan Evans and 40-year MLB scout Hank Jones. They're going to teach you how to evaluate players and all that sort of stuff. And of course, the baseball analytics course with Ari Kaplan. That thing was so good that Kansas City manager Mike Matheny actually took it. So once again, they know who to contact, when they're hiring, and how to get things going so that you can work your way into the baseball world. But it's more than just baseball. These courses can help you evaluate in the NFL, in the NBA, in soccer. So if you have an interest outside of baseball, that's great for you as well. So you learn by hopping on to smww.com. Use the discount code ROSE for $50 off the course of your choice. It's very simple. It's all about great courses, understanding, and getting that knowledge that'll take you to the next level. Real quickly, how's your hertz level?
Good. It's pretty early here. I'll go to PT after this, so I'm like looking forward to that. I always look forward to doing these. It's pretty good. What's the average? Is what we talk about, like 450?
Yeah, well, 400 I think is what Phillips said.
I usually sit at like a good 550, 600. Yeah. I'm usually around like, I'd say I'm generally above the norm.
Okay.
And I can work out now, so it'll be like I'll get a couple more ticks once I can like get my blood pumping.
Right. Well, the good news is that your your hertz level is about to go through the roof, because I know it's been hard for you the last few weeks. You haven't been able to see your teammates. You haven't been able to hang out. But here he is joining us from the beautiful land of Minnesota. Whoa, you got to turn your camera sideways there, Hertz Captain.
Oh no! Hey, Glass, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Flip your camera. Flip your camera. Go this way with your camera. Yeah. There you go, bud. Yeah, buddy.
Why can't I hear Glass?
Oh, you can't hear him?
Oh man.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, Chris. I can't hear Glass.
Oh my God. Now?
Checking 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Now? No.
I can't hear, but if you guys can hear me, I'll say what I wanted to say real fast.
Go for it.
Well, hey, I'll just, as if I just called in, ring, ring, ring. Hey, caller number 1, here I am.
Where the heck are you, Brett?
Oh, I'm live from Moose Mountain, fellas.
Where?
What is Moose Mountain?
Christmas tree. Can't hear me.
No, hey, Glass, what's up, man? I just wanted to call in. Chris told me, it'd be a good idea. Call in, get the hertz up a little bit. So here I am, man, after surgery, calling in on my excursion from Moose Mountain. I'll give you the coordinates after the call. If you want to meet me here, we can get after it. But man, I just
love it.
Wanted to make sure my boy's doing all right, and sending some love your way. How you feeling?
Thanks, man. Good.
Yeah,
you have to be my middleman now. Tell him I feel good. My hertz are hhigh. Now they're higher because he just called in.
He said his hertz have been high, but they're higher now that you just called in, even though what the heck for people, what is Moose Mountain, Brett?
Moose Mountain is a place, I can't tell you all that. It's kind of private information, but it's a place where you get your hertz up, and Glass knows he's been to Moose Mountain a few times. But it's nature, and when nature calls, we find our way anyhow to get our hertz up. And before the game tonight against the Twins, this is where I'm spending my time, Moose Mountain.
Okay.
I love that.
Well, maybe that will help you hit another grand slam. Before we let you go, 3 of your last 4 home runs have been grand slams. What the heck is going on?
Oh, the headline should read, local blind squirrel finds other squirrels stash that they stashed away of nuts for the winter.
That's great.
I wish I had an answer for you, but I'm riding that wave, and I think things like this, they always happen. What do they say? It happens in 3. So I mean, I wouldn't mind 4, but we'll see. I don't know what's going on. I wish I had an answer for you.
Okay. One other thing before we let you go. You guys unfortunately got blown out the one game you lost in Boston, and Francisco Mejia, the catcher, had to go out and pitch. Were you a little upset you didn't get to throw 94 again?
Honestly, I wasn't a little upset. I was kind of a lot of upset. And, if it wasn't 20-1, I probably would have gone into the manager's, Kevin's office, and had a word with him. I feel like I should have had the ball in that situation. I think Glass would agree with me that
for sure.
I'm the man for that kind of job. The umpires were even telling me like, yo, it was the 7th inning. They're like, let's go. Like, are you ready to go? And they wanted to see it. Even the umpires wanted to see the action. So, it honestly, it may take a conversation with Kevin Cash to let him know that, listen, like, that's my job right there, to go in there and get outs for us when they need them. But luckily I ended the night on a grand salami. But I'm just kidding.
No big deal.
So great.
All right, go back
That's
to
awesome.
scaling mountains and cutting down Christmas trees 5 months early. Or
Man,
whatever the
I
heck.
apologize. I wish I could have heard Glass. Tell him I love him. Hertz up, baby. We're thinking about you, Glass. We miss you, man.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you guys soon. I'll be back in Florida soon.
He says he'll be back in Florida soon. He can't wait to see you. And he said, cut down one of those trees and bring it back to the Tampa St. Pete area. He wants to put it into his house.
Take care. Have a good conversation.
Here he is.
See you guys.
Bye, Brett.
It is everyone's favorite time of year right around the corner. College football. Oh, my God. A good college football Saturday. Does it get better than that? It kind of doesn't. You get the 1 o'clock. You get the noon games, the 3:30. And then if you get a good night game, like that's a Saturday. And those are coming up soon. And with DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, oh, my God. $200 in free bets? I just had to check that a couple times. $200 in free bets instantly if you bet $1 or more on any college football game. People, they're making it easy for you. You know I like easy. They're making it easy for you. Take advantage of this offer now. $200 in free bets when you place a bet of $1 or more on any college football game. Guys, DraftKings Sportsbook app, they are the best. It's safe, secure, reliable. It's in the U.S. It's easy to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. So go win some money and then go spend it and then win more money and spend it because that's life a little bit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code ROSE to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any college football game. That's promo code ROSE to get your free $200 in free bets instantly. Limited time only. DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Bang.
Where the heck was he?
I don't know. He was like, he's been here before. I was like, I don't think I have. I don't know where that was. I'm trying to think. Maybe I have been there. Where are they at? Minnesota? I don't even think I've been to Minnesota.
He is one of a kind and so generous with his time. I DM'd him this week. I was like, hey, dude, we need to make Glass smile a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've been talking to him too, like talking to Zanito a lot, and honestly, a lot of the guys. It's been cool. Brett's reached out a few times. It's been awesome. I'm excited too to go back and like hang out with the team, and I'll go back on the 18th. My parents are flying in with me. They originally were supposed to come in anyways, so my birthday is the 23rd, so they were going to come and like watch some games. So we'll just fly up together and I can like see the team and go back to normal routine. It'll be fun.
You're going to turn 28 on the 23rd?
I am.
Boy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How has it been living with the parental units?
It's been cool. It's nice seeing them. I have a lot of friends out here. I have my friend, like my best friend I grew up with. He's like my middle school best friend. His name is Dayton, and he lives out here. So we've been hanging out every day and just like doing whatever. So that like takes up most of my time. I'll go to PT, and he lives close to there, and I'll hang out with him. And got a couple other buddies down here. So we're just hanging out, doing whatever. I'm just trying to like make the time go by. I'll go to like Borders and like read and drink coffee and just do all that stuff. Try to make the day go by, like not sit at home too long. The first couple of days I just sat here and was just like, all right, I gotta go. Like I couldn't drive the first couple of days. So I just was like melting, just doing nothing. And it was super boring. But now that I can like be out and about, it's not as bad.
But it's hard. You're out in the heat. You can't be outside a ton.
I don't know. Arizona heat's different though. Like if Florida, when you walk outside, you get immediately like drenched. I'm telling you, I don't really mind it. It's not like amazing, but I'll go out every day. Like I'm going to the pool every day with my friend, and just like sit in the shade. I don't want to like sweat in this thing. I don't like going in the pool, but we just hang out outside. I don't mind it. I kind of like it. It's not like, I don't know. I can like, I don't hate it. And it's been weird. Like it's been a strange week. It's only been like 100. It's not like 120. So it's actually doable. Difference. Yeah. And it's a dry heat. So it's not bad.
Yeah. I was out there for Brady's, our 15-year-old's baseball tournament. We played games at like 12:15 in the afternoon. I was like, this is.
Yeah. When you're out there for that long playing, it's probably a little rough, but I don't know. That's yeah, we get used to it, I think, because I played in the Florida State League, people play in the Arizona, whatever league. And then your body just goes like, all right, this kid's a psycho. We got to get used to this. And as long as you too, if you get like some sort of, if you like work out in the morning, something about the heat, like it doesn't punch you in the face as hard. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Maybe because you're 6'8" and chiseled, it punches harder when you're 50 and overweight. I just want to tell you, it punches way harder.
Yeah.
Way harder. All right. So you'll go back to Tampa in the next couple weeks, and then you just continue your rehab. I mean, do you get a regular off season and stuff? Are you allowed to, what happens then?
Yeah. So some guys opt to just like stay in the place they're rehabbing. I was kind of like, I'd rather go and like watch the team and like go work with Hark and Joe and all those dudes. And because the beginning couple stages of Tommy John, like the rehab, I'm pretty sure is like relatively the same. And I'll get a lot of like good one-on-one treatment when I'm there. And I want to just watch the games and like fill up my days with like baseball as opposed to just like doing nothing. But when season's over, I'll fly back to Arizona and just do like a normal rehab. And then by the time I start throwing, I'm pretty sure it'll be springtime, like January, February, March, April-ish, right? Yeah, it's like 6 months after. So I might just fly in and be a normal baseball player and like start throwing at camp next year. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But the plan is just to like rehab there, then come back and like continue my rehab throughout the off season.
Will you be able to travel with the team here down the stretch, or do you have to stay strictly in Tampa?
Strictly in Tampa. The Rays don't have their rehab guys travel. Every team does something different, but the Rays just, they don't have it. We also have like a pretty good amount of guys in the IL. So I don't know if we could fit everyone. And I think too, it's like more of a limited amount of trainers. And I think too, you can get better work when there's not people around. And I don't know. It sucks when I look over in the dugout though, and like other teams do travel with their guys. I'm like, oh, I get so jealous because it's so boring when the team goes on the road. You have like so much time just to do nothing, and it's so boring. But I don't know. Like I said, I guess it could be worse.
If you go, if you guys are fortunate enough to hang on and become division champions, will you travel during the postseason? Do the rules
I don't know.
change?
I'm going to ask. I'm definitely going to ask. I don't know though. I think it's a more of like, I don't know. Like if I go, maybe everyone else is going to want to. I don't know if they can like fit everyone in. I really don't know. I'm going to be annoying though and ask and try to definitely try to do that.
Yeah. So it's weird.
I'm going to try and do something.
You're on West
like
Coast
front
time
office
now,
something.
and they play predominantly on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So, at 4:00 local time, are you in front of your iPad watching every game?
Yeah, like if I am, I'll definitely try and keep like updates on my phone if I'm like out doing stuff. If I'm like at PT and then I'm driving back home and I can't watch the game, I'll like have it on my phone. But my parents watch like every single game, so I'll come and watch all the games with them usually. My mom too is so funny. Like generally, when you're watching a game, you can just kind of like if someone says something, you're like, she like pause the game. I'm like, what? And like she's such a fan. Like, so it's fun. They really enjoy it. Like they're humongous fans. So yeah, let me shut this off.
Well, that's all right. Anybody interesting dinging you?
Let's find out.
I'd love to know.
Me too.
I'd love to know.
My brother
Uh-huh.
and a guy in my agency.
Okay. Well, tell Ted I said hi.
I will. Oh, also, Greg told me to tell you hi. So did Donna. Hi.
Thank you. You could always pop their heads in and just give a little wave to America and
Sure,
beyond.
they could. They're going to be like, I don't want to.
Okay. Well, that's fine. But I appreciate them saying hello and stuff. You know what? We asked this question on our Instagram live show that we do every day. I do that with Trevor Plouffe. And a couple days ago, we asked, why don't the Rays get more love? What do you think the answer to that question is?
I think because it's like a relatively new franchise. When did they start?
It's 25 years in. I don't buy that shit anymore. It's not 5 years old. It's 25.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the stadium and the location, like it's not exactly like, it's hard to get to. It's hard to like, and now I'm not talking any sort of shit. I don't think like their number one priority is exactly like marketing. I'm sure they've tried a lot of stuff, but like they don't do like I don't know if this is true or not, but like I don't know how much they do to like make it a show, like you go in and like there's not a lot of in between inning stuff. There's not a lot, like the speakers are blown out. You can't really hear a lot of stuff. Like it's the little things. I just think too, like it being in a location it is, and like most young people live in Tampa, nobody wants to come over the bridge and sit in traffic for 3 hours, or not that long, but like it's just not like by Amalie. in Tampa, like there's a really good market and a lot of young people there. And if we were around there, I guarantee the games would be like jumping.
That's where
crazy.
the Lightning play?
Yeah. And like by the Buck stadiums in Tampa, it's just easier to get around over there. But like St. Pete, like that bridge, it's just so, and like the area around it, it's a lot of one-way streets. It's really a tough place to go in and out of. But it really is getting a lot more fans recently. Like we'd have a couple like Monday through Wednesday series against like the Orioles, and it's actually got a good amount of fans, like compared to what it normally is. And our TV market's great though. Like we have like above average viewership. Yeah, so like people, there are fans. I just think like the experience is not like people don't want to go and sit at the game, I guess. That's all I can think of. I really don't know.
Yeah, but it's not. It's more than just fans coming. I mean, on a baseball national scope, you guys.
Yeah.
If you look at the last 4 years, there aren't a lot of franchises that have been more successful than the Tampa Bay Rays. But when we talk about real contenders and teams that could get to the World Series, it's like, yeah, the Rays are good, but it's probably not going to carry through. We'd still rather talk about all these other teams. Do you guys ever talk about that in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I think for like we all understand like that's dumb. Like even this year when we got rid of like some guys and everyone's like we're not like the Rays are going to probably be like 4th place. We're just like everyone internally is like what? Like I at this point like personally I really just don't care. Like not like I don't know. I think so much of like the media and what people do, it's a lot of like you just do things for views. I don't even know how. I'm not saying people are like not genuine. I just think like people will be like, did you see what this reporter said or this said? I'm just like, I don't know. Yes. Like, who cares? Like at the end of the day, like it doesn't. Every year they say we're going to be like 4th place. And I think as far like our group internally, like I said, is always like, that's dumb. And then we're always in 1st or 2nd place, like throughout the whole thing, the last couple of years. So it just doesn't, it's just inertia. It's like, we already understand nobody really thinks we're going to be good. But for me, I think it's kind of cool when people think we're going to suck and we don't. And then, I don't know. That's a good question. Though. I'm not quite sure.
Give us one teammate that maybe we don't pay attention to on a national scale who's way better. Like just the little things that you notice.
Brandon Lau is disgusting. I think Brandon Lau is one of like the better baseball players in the league. Just as far as like, and he's turned it on now. Like he struggled a bit in the beginning of the season, but like his defense, like the consistency in which he plays defense, he's like, I don't know, what does he have, like 24 homers right now? He's hitting he's probably hitting like 230-ish. Last year he was gross. The year before he was like, he is really consistent. He puts up he's just always good. I always think something is going to happen when Brandon's playing. So I think he's probably the most underrated. He should get more recognition. Wendell, like Zanino's killing it. Obviously Arozarena, he gets a lot of exposure, I feel like, though, deservingly so. Like Arozarena is gross, and I think he's going to play for a really long time and only continue to improve.
Is there one pitcher that
Rasmussen is new, but he's gross. I think they're turning him into a starter. He sits like 100. His carry too, like on the computer, he's got elite stuff. If he gets turned into a starter, he'll be a top starter for a while if he can continue to put this like his stuff up.
He's one of the guys you got in the Adames deal, right?
Yeah. Him and JP. And I think too, another guy is like Fairbanks in terms of stuff. Like he's grosser than anyone in the back of a bullpen. Like he's one of the top arms in terms of like what his metrics and numbers and stuff say. He doesn't get a lot of exposure.
I heard he's very funny.
Peter Fairbanks?
Is that true?
Yeah, he's got dry humor. It depends. Like if it's your brand, he's very funny.
Oh, I love dry humor.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Andrew Kittredge is the answer. I actually forgot about him. He needs to get more exposure. And that guy is hilarious. He's one of the funniest people on our team. His humor, it's a saltine cracker. It's the driest thing it's hilarious. And he just comes in with one-liners and just punches you in the face with them. He's got a great
look to him too.
He does. He's just like super mellow, and then he'll just say the funniest thing you ever heard. And it's his timing is impeccable. He'd be a good like comic. I don't know if like stand up would be the thing, but like something along those lines. He's funny.
He made the All-Star team.
Yeah, he did at like the end, which is stupid. He should have made it early on. Colin McHugh probably should have made it too. He put up some of the craziest numbers at the end of the year when he came back off the IL. He was like the best pitcher in baseball. But I just think the exposure and the voting and like, I don't know. just think the marketing of player. I don't know why we don't get more like exposure. I don't know. We're a fun ass team. Like you watch the games. It's an entertaining baseball game. So
I know. Speaking of entertaining, we are recording this the day after Field of Dreams. Did you watch?
Oh yeah, a little bit. I went to dinner with my parents yesterday, and it was on TV.
Oh, right, you were doing the one-handed cutting, right?
Yeah. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I heard it was really entertaining, and I was like keeping up with the updates, and like that was crazy. A lot of homers, a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. I will say this. I think that if MLB Network is smart, they will rerun the game on their network at some point when there's just a little bit of a lull and if they don't have day baseball, I would rerun it. The look of the stadium was incredible.
Yeah, it was. The cornfield.
To watch the guys walk out from the corn, like they had a great drone shot of the guys lining up in the corn, probably 100 feet back, and then getting ready to walk through. The shots of the stadium were simply out of this world great.
Yeah. I thought that was a really cool idea. I didn't know like on paper how it would translate. Like I didn't even know they were bringing it in stands, but watching it, like the highlights and all that stuff, I was like, that would be cool. That was very, and it brings,
Here's my suggestion, because people were like, well, why don't they play a weekend series there? They can't do that because first of all, the teams had to fly in the day of the game. There's no place to stay around. I didn't even know if they had showers in those tents. Like,
for real.
I can't wait to talk to Giolito about like that side of it all. But what I think they ought to do is they ought to have 6 teams play over 3 different days. Teams that are in the Midwest right now for a weekend series, they should fly in. It'd be less than an hour. You play another game on a Friday night. You play another game for Sunday night baseball or whatever it is. You make sure there are built-in days off in case of rain and stuff like that. But that's what I would do.
I think it'd be cool. I just think the exposure for that area too, like, I don't know. I guess it grows baseball around there too, because not many teams there's no teams around there. And that's like all the blackout stuff was kind of funny. Like, what are you doing? And it does seem a little crazy in that area, but yeah, I think it would be beneficial for everyone. I just think like just to bring it out that way.
Yeah. I think we ought to have a game out near Mount Rushmore, build a stadium, have that in the background. Take it to places that don't have professional sports.
You're like Grand Canyon or something, like the bottom of it.
See, now we're talking. But the Grand Canyon has got to be in play. So if the ball goes in the Grand Canyon, like Kiermaier's got to make the catch of a lifetime here.
He will. He definitely will, probably. So yeah, that would be kind of sweet. I don't know. I think that would have been a cool experience. I would have loved to be a team that went and did that. Just to like, I feel like it'd be almost like a de-stressor, like walk outside. It's just so rural and like nothing's around. Like I think it'd be nice in the middle of the season.
Totally.
Seems like like little league type vibe. I guess everyone's different too. Like certain guys probably didn't like it, but I know I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I think that they did a really nice interview, I thought, with Garrett Cole, and you could hear in his voice. Now, granted, he hadn't been around the team for probably a week and a half because of COVID issues, so I think he was probably just happy to be back regardless. But you could hear in his voice, like, how much this whole thing surprised him. Like, you think about it one way and you're like, okay, is it going to be a little cheesy? What's it going to be like? And I think it overwhelmed the balance of players.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could have experienced it. Like, because you can see it on TV and you think it's a certain way, but you have to really like understand what it feels like. And it did. It looked like all the guys were like, they had that extra level of energy, and everyone just looked so excited. In the interviews that I saw, everyone had that like little spark to them. And I was like, wow, I was like, had a little FOMO for sure. Yeah. I think they'll probably end up doing it every year. It was so successful. I wonder what the ratings were, or like how many, like the viewership of that was. Probably pretty high. Yeah,
the early reports are, and once again, we're recording this on a Friday, so you'll probably know the final ones by the time this airs, but early reports are it was the highest rated regular season game in over a decade.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's great.
Kevin Costner, that movie, doing wonders for everybody.
Were you a fan of the movie or not?
Yeah, I loved it. That was a great movie. I thought it was awesome. The first time I watched it, I was like pretty young. I've seen it a bunch of times. I thought that movie was sweet.
Yeah, and I think people who didn't even love the movie loved last night's experience, which I think is the key. I think that's the buy-in, because not everybody's going to love a particular movie, and it's still a baseball game that was played, but the way that everything just woven together, I thought it was
very on like topic with baseball too, just like pastime and like small town feel, you know. It just like was very baseball. Like it was
I
nice.
always think the way that you know if it was a successful stint or not was you listen to people who aren't diehard baseball fans talk about it today. And they were like, damn, that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, like how do other sports try and replicate it? I saw some football writers that I know say, well, what would be the NFL equivalent of what we just saw with Field of Dreams? To me, there's nothing. You can't do it because part of the beauty of our sport is taking your family on a trip to middle America and hitting Target Field and going to hit Comerica and hitting all these different ballparks as a family. Like you want to talk as much about the ballparks and the experience as the game itself on the field sometimes. You don't say that about other sports.
Yeah, it is like the nostalgic pastime kind of deal. Like there's a lot more to it than just like the sport. I definitely, I would agree with you for sure. You can't like go play basketball on a cornfield. Like, I guess you could have baseball, but like, I don't know. I mean, football, but I don't know.
Well, they did play college basketball on an aircraft carrier a few years ago, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh yeah. I thought they had like an outdoor game too in like LA, right?
Yeah, they've had those. And of course, you know, hockey's done a remarkable job.
Yeah.
You know, taking it to baseball stadiums and now to football stadiums.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's all been very, very good. No question about it. By the way, you used to play in one of my favorite parks there at PNC.
Oh, it's the best park, I think, in the big leagues. That and like San Francisco, like as far as backdrop and everything, that place is unbelievable. It was really nice. Especially then too. There was some times in those years where I was like, I am not really looking forward to going to the park right now. And then I get there and look out and be like, this is nice. Like it was a nice little like, it's beautiful. It's amazing. The city too, the layout's like crazy. It's kind of like a Disneyland theme.
Hey, I've got, speaking of games, I've got some new categories here for you.
Nice.
On the wheel of moderately interesting things. Hopefully you land on one. So we'll see. And, oh God, I didn't change tripping. So if you get tripping, I'm just going to put it on something else.
Oh, it almost did.
Yeah, that's no good. Actually, I've changed it. There we go. Because double play is who's going to play you in the movie, and it's such a layup for you. I don't even ask you that silly question. So we're going to go with OnlyFans today. OnlyFans. Get your head out of the gutter. I saw your eyes light up. By the way, give credit to Mrs. Rose who came up with this category. OnlyFans is your favorite sports team that you root for, not Tampa Bay Rays, like a team that you're passionate about in the sporting world. Do you have one? Or as a little kid, did you have one?
St. Louis Rams back in like 2000, whatever, when they played like I really liked it. I cried when they lost the Super Bowl.
Wow. Whoa, hold on. How did that happen?
They just lost.
No, I know they lost. I'm not asking the question. I covered that shit. I know how that happened. How did you become a St. Louis Rams fan?
I don't remember. Okay. So we have a good family friend named George Malsberger. And he had this thing, like this event that it was Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner. And they were like golfing. And he invited my brother, which I'm still a little salty about. I was like too young. It was fine. Whatever. It was George, my dad, and my brother, and they got to go in a golf cart around with Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner and played like 18 holes. And then they like went out with them after. They went to, it was like this crazy experience. And like they just like kind of fell in love with them. And he said Kurt Warner, they were both just like super nice people, awesome time. And my brother's a big, just like he'll like most times he's like, yeah, I don't know, it's dumb. And he was very much like motivated and excited about it. And it was like this they just had such an amazing time. And ever since then, we just became St. Louis Rams fans. And we just like watched the games and everything. And it wasn't like I knew all the stats and everything. It was more of just like the pride of like, oh, we kind of know these people. And then we started to get attached to it. And then it slowly died over the years. Like I never watched sports religiously or anything growing up. I was it was just too slow, like all sports. I couldn't sit there and watch. I'd want to go out and like skateboard or do something and like just go get into trouble. But that was definitely my number one, like, team that I rooted for. I do vividly remember when they lost, I was so upset. I was so mad. It was like Tom Brady, and I was like, I hate this guy. And then over the years, I learned to appreciate him. Yeah.
So you probably didn't become a fan until after the Rams Super Bowl win in Super Bowl 34, because that's when Marshall Faulk was already an established player, but that's the year that Kurt Warner took off. And
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So it was a good amount of years there. And then like I obviously it was like the team split up and he went to the Falcons, right? Yeah. And I think it was just like a slow whatever. And I still now they're the LA Rams and it was cool. I've been to a couple games and that was sweet, but that was my height of my sports fandom was definitely back then.
Yeah. Well, it also, the answer could have been who are two guys in Chris Rose's phone, but that's, if you wanted to play that game, since I worked with Marshall, I still work with Kurt over at the NFL.
Oh yeah. Cause he does the broadcasting. He didn't go to the Falcons. What am I saying? He went to the Cardinals?
No. So Kurt went from the Rams to the Giants. He had a year there when Eli was a rookie and he played about 8 games and had problems with his hands and fumbled a lot. Then he rejuvenated himself out in Arizona, ended up leading them to a Super Bowl and almost a Super Bowl win where they lost to the Steelers in Super Bowl 43. And now he's a Hall of Famer and I get to work with him and he's a tremendous guy. And Marshall, I will tell you this, and everybody says the same thing about him. He is the smartest football player I've ever met in terms of just watching a game. I would sit there on Sundays and we'd all watch the games together. And I'd sit next to Marshall and just hear him call out little things. He'd be like, "Hey, Rosie, watch this." And it would happen exactly the way he would say it. I was like, what is going on? Like, are you a cheat code?
Yeah.
Am I on a delay over here? What is going on? And he was just the smart, but everybody swears by it. Would say the same thing about him. So
that's awesome. I love like people that way who've obsessed about their sport so much that they like understand it differently than most people.
Yep. I'm actually shocked he hasn't turned into a coach. It might be just a lifestyle thing with him, but he
probably. I don't know if he wants to like be a slave to the hours. Who knows?
Yeah, because that ain't easy.
Yeah, I know he has some fun or used to. I remember too. My brother said he went. I think he was like 10 or something, and they went out to the club or I don't know where they went. Probably not. I don't know. He was 10, so it could have been that crazy, but it was like a bunch of girls there. Marshall's like, "Hey Ted, like pick one. Which one do you want?" And they kind of all looked at him. He was just like, "Oh, I can't do that." Like it was almost funny. He got all nervous and stuff. But apparently he was he had a good time. And I think that's great. That he enjoyed his time as an NFL player.
That's nice. All right. Homework is kind of up in the air since you've had this surgery. I know you've got time. So maybe you video something that's interesting. Are we allowed to video any PT that happens? Is there anything interesting that goes on in that world that we're not privy to?
Not really yet. I don't know. I mean, it depends. I guess it's like some people might think it's interesting. I don't know. Like it's so early on now that basically all they do is kind of pull my arm and then go this way and pull it, then go this way. And then I do like 95-year-old man exercises.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably a little slow burn right now, but I'll try and get some footage. I think we'll probably do new stuff today.
Okay. Well, I wish you luck with that. And then by the time we talk to you next time, you'll be back in the Tampa St. Pete area doing your thing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, are you going to be able to like go to let's say I haven't checked your schedule, but the Buccaneers open at home against the Dallas Cowboys on that first Thursday night of the season. I think it's like September 9th. And Brault always tells me what a big deal you are down there. I know you downplay all this shit, but he's like, no. He is a legit like star in the Tampa St. Pete area. So if you called in for a favor to get tickets to the Super Bowl champs 2021 debut, do you think is that something you might do?
Yeah, I would definitely do that. I can finagle some tickets. I'll probably bring some guys too. I got like my rehab squad. We got like Cody Reed and Nick Anderson and like all the dudes. So I'll probably try and get a couple tickets and go. That would be super fun. I've been to a couple games there too. Big fan. It's hot, but whatever. It is fun.
Come on. It's them. They're unveiling the banner.
Yeah.
It's the Dallas Cowboys. It's Thursday Night Football on NBC. Tell me, I mean that,
Yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to get tickets for sure. Especially because I'll be there. I'm in there for that. Maybe I'll video that. That'll be my homework assignment.
See, now there's a homework assignment worth doing. Now we might have a show before that, but probably not. September 9th. That's right around there. Yeah. All right, listen, tell the parental units we say hello. I'm happy that you're smiling. Everybody's going to be really happy just to hear from you because people were like, is Glass going to come back on the Rose rotation now that he's had surgery? I was like, and everybody in the Rose family sends their best too because they.
Thank you. I send my best to all of them too.
Thank you. Different parts of their lives.
Just
growing up Dealing
Fun
with all
times.
that shit. So it's fun. It was good hanging out with you as always. Big shout out to our producer, editor extraordinaire, Robbie Scirocco, our summer intern, Alden Stone, as well. And thanks very much to you for watching, listening, and consuming the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of JOMBOY Media.
Bye, everybody.